He's very busy. He's got a very popular television show. And what is he smiling about? Because what do you?
You're just always, the intros are always so kind, and then I leave the interview, usually mad at you, and so it's just a nice emotional roller coaster. But thank you for having me on, Dan. Happy New Year. I just got some chocolates from you guys and a hammer. I literally just got it this morning. It was a New Year's present. It's January 14th, but I appreciate it all the same. Thank you.
Let's speed him up. I want to get as much sports stuff from him because it's going crazy out there, and he's the best going right now at Sports Opinion. Let's begin with the legacy of Aaron Rodgers. He has Tom Brady has won a playoff game more recently than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, listen, I think that when you are one of the four most talented players in the history of your position and you end up, around, the 9th or 10th best player in the history of your position, it is a compliment to say you underachieved. And I think you saw on the back during his final, what is likely his final game in the NFL, some of the stuff that made him not that guy in the biggest spots, where he was making it clear to the entire world mistakes were made, but they were not my mistakes, wearing his disgust on his face. And also DK Metcalf drops a pass, so he ices him out of the game plan for a couple of hours. It's odd to be one of the 10 greatest players in the history of your sport at your position and still have underachieved, but I think that's what he did. Is that quick enough? Good.
Yes,
bang, bang,
it's a good
you
start.
Want follow-ups?
It's a good start. No, I don't want. I want you to give me what you got, and I don't think I'm going to have very many follow-ups, but we want to bang through this as fast as we can here and give as much nutrients as we possibly can. So Mike Tomlin's career postseason record is 8-11, a .421 winning percentage. It's 23 out of 25 coaches with at least 15 playoff games. Since 2011, he's 3-10 in the playoffs, and he's lost to Tebow and Blake Bortles. Tomlin, give me what you got.
I would analogize it to if a bunch of people left your show and then you had a big coaching tree and then they all failed, and then it was people were like, "Sad, Le Batard, what's he doing?" When in reality it's a compliment. It's they only got that platform because of the high tide raising boats. I think Mike Tomlin got, and I don't, can you buy Emmys on eBay now? I think they got to the playoffs with less than playoff caliber teams because of Tomlin's inherent excellence at getting the most, juice from the squeeze. And then once the playoffs begun and you played actual good teams, they got clocked repeatedly. With that said, he's not blameless, because I do think over the last half decade, the priority shifted from winning Super Bowl 7 to guaranteeing you had the best chance to not be below 500. In 2019, at the tail end of Big Ben, he got hurt 3 games into the year. They're 0-3, and they trade a first-round pick for who? Miami's Minkah Fitzpatrick. That year, not only was Burrow and Herbert at the top of the draft, but Jordan...
We've lost your audio, Nick.
We've lost your audio.
Would never
there.
happen to me. I blame Jeremy.
That couldn't be me. That has to be on your guys' end.
Okay, we like accountability.
Do you guys have me?
You're
here.
back
we do
now.
now. We just
back.
lost
Okay.
the last couple of sentences of what you said.
All right, very quickly. Sorry, don't count this against my time. 2019, they trade away their first-round pick to add Minkah Fitzpatrick, even though Big Ben's out for the year, because they want to find a way to get to 8 wins. They do. They don't have a first-round pick when Burrow, Herbert at the top of the draft, Jordan Love at the tail end of round 1, a team that had a quarterback but looked ahead, Jalen Hurts at the beginning of round 2, a team that had just signed Carson Wentz, and then even this past year, when you sign a 41-year-old quarterback, you know that's not a long-term plan. Fine, so be it. But in the first round, and I'm not a huge Jackson Dart or Tyler Shuck guy, but they don't draft a quarterback there. Instead, they draft a D lineman. It felt like near the end, they were prioritizing high floor rather than high ceiling, and I think that got in his way. But I think he is a great, great head coach, and I also think he's likely going to be a colleague of mine at Fox. So welcome to the team, Mike.
You used the phrase "toward the end," and I've gathered from your commentary, although I haven't heard you say it plainly, that you think Lamar Jackson is toward the end. That whatever it is that is going on with Lamar Jackson, we've seen his best play, and it's no longer prime Lamar Jackson that we're ever going to see again. Do I have you? Am I misrepresenting you?
You're not misrepresenting me. I don't. Toward the end is maybe further than I would go, but do I think Lamar Jackson's likely to ever reach the peaks he has already reached? No. Do I think that a Lamar Jackson, I know he has these gaudy passing numbers, and the numbers are the numbers, but do I believe, having watched the NFL, that some of Lamar Jackson's efficiency and excellence passing the ball is a byproduct of teams being so afraid, correctly, what he can do running the ball, and therefore, if moving forward, he's more like he was this year than in previous years, where he's simply not a real threat as a runner, he's going to see more complex, more difficult passing game looks, and that could hurt his productivity. You also add to the fact that he has missed at least a quarter of the season 3 of the last 5 years. You also add to the fact that he wants understandable, a top of market, brand new, fully guaranteed $60+ million a year deal. I think their best chance to win a Super Bowl was January of 2024, hosting the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, and they might have done it, but Justin Tucker demanded to get warmed up in Kelce and Mahomes' practice area, and it's all been downhill from there.
Hey, Nick, this is a bit off subject, but I'm wondering how hard you're working behind the scenes to finagle an invitation to Travis and Taylor's wedding.
Not working behind the scenes on that at all. I would imagine our mutual friend, Adam Lefko, will be invited. I've always tried to be very clear about this. I am friendly with Travis. I love Travis as a football player, and I also think he's the greatest tight end ever. But Travis and I do not have the extent of our personal relationship. Is in the past we had an annual meeting in mid-February in Kansas City at a parade that was always held, and then we'd go get drunk afterwards. That's the extent of it. So I don't think I'm in the wedding party circle. Now, if Patrick were getting married, I think maybe I'd get invitation. But Patrick has been married for a long time, has a beautiful family, wonderful wife and children.
Put it on the poll, please. Best tight end ever, Kelce or Gronk, at Le Batard Show. Explain to me what's going on with OKC and the Spurs.
Well, I think that it would have been a 5-alarm fire for OKC had they lost last night. They didn't, and Shea stabilized, and I think that is a unique matchup for OKC because OKC has a lot of inherent advantages over most of the excellent teams in the league, but one of them is because of their youth and their depth, they can just send wave after wave of excellent defender at you that's going to wear you down, and by midway through the third quarter, most teams are like, next game's probably going to be easier. Because of the Wemby-Chet rivalry that Wemby has created out of thin air, there can only be one super tall, skinny guy. They play with an edge, and they have the youth and the depth to where they are not going to wear down. I need to see Wemby play, 50 games-ish in a row to where I have confidence that they are a real contender. But that is the first tough matchup that OKC has. But I just remind everyone, 5 of the last 6 champions, midway through or early on in the year they were defending their title, everyone thought that team's obviously repeating. And not only did none repeat, none got back to the finals, none got back to the conference finals, and the only one that's even been back to a conference finals, forget the year after, at any point post-championship run is, of course, the championship we don't count LeBron James's in the 2020 Los Angeles Lakers.
We'll get to LeBron in a second, but what do you have for Nick Wright, Zaz?
The Packers win or the Bears lose?
Okay, sorry, I didn't understand. Great question, Zaz. You had 6 words, you stumbled over 2 of them, but I translated it. The Packers lost. Caleb's sensational and special, but that is an unfathomable loss for the Packers, and it's on a long list of really tough ones.
I thought that was the most improbable playoff loss ever, given the time and situation. Obviously, the Patriots being down 28-3 in a Super Bowl is a bigger thing. But just to have Golden score his first touchdown of the season that way, to go up 11, to have the Bears in 4th and 9 late in that game, I really did think it was almost impossible to lose that game.
So I've never seen a game lost like that. So to go back a few years when everyone's golden boy, look at the arm talent. Justin Herbert had his first of what ended up being a trilogy of truly awful playoff games. And by the way, this is one where the first was the worst, meaning it was the least much of a meltdown for Herbert. All he did was blow a 27-0 lead and make 0 plays. Who knew the sequel, he'd throw more picks in a game than he did in his whole season. And in the trilogy one, he would simply just be like, I'm not throwing the ball, and score 3 points. But I'm remiss. In part of that comeback, the Jags had 4 second-half possessions, scored 4 touchdowns. The Jags had to be perfect every possession. The Bears were down 21-3, threw a pick, had a possession where they gained 2 yards and allowed a touchdown and still came back. And the Packers never turned it over. The Packers had the ball 8 times after going up 21-3, never turned it over, and lost. I've never seen a comeback like that, and I don't think this is year over year sustainable. But as far as for the rest of this postseason, there is something to the fact that trailing by double digits with 5 minutes left this season, every team but the Bears has 3 wins and 159 losses. And the Bears, trailing by double digits with 5 minutes or left, have 3 wins and 3 losses. For everyone else in the sport, it's a 2% chance of victory. For the Bears, it's a 50-50 shot. They're the only team that can trail by 10 entering the 4th quarter this weekend and feel okay about it.
Who you got in the natty?
You guys. I'm going you guys. I had you guys over Ole Miss. There was I was very conflicted, and I actually said this on the TV show. I have personal relationships to Miami, most notably this show, but really Mike Ryan specifically, because I know he lives and dies with it. Le Batard, I think, used to care about the Canes, and then he was like, I'm a big J journalist. I can't care about anything. And then he's like, wait, all the money is in doing Miami Heat rants, so maybe I should lean back into the fact that my football team's good. Did I get the timeline right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you got it.
Regardless, so I was rooting, and a couple of the producers on our TV show are Miami grads, including the world's greatest social media producer, Gianna Sanchez, who really lives and dies with it. I also wanted Lane Kiffin to stick to him. I really liked the idea of Ole Miss. He leaves Ole Miss because you can't win a championship there, and then they win the championship. So in that game, I was conflicted, but I like your guys' chances. In this game, I'm not conflicted at all. I like Curt Cignetti and his amazing coaching job and his squad of super senior 27-year-olds. However, I like when the U is rolling. I like when Michael Irvin accidentally reveals he has washboard 8-pack abs. I like Ibis. I've never done cocaine, but I imagine I'd like that. So I'm going for the Canes.
Greg, what do you have for Nick Wright?
Hey, Nick, America is under threat of a Denver-Seattle Super Bowl. I wonder if you see a super team this year. Is there anybody in the NFL that's an extraordinary all-around team?
No, listen, the super team decided they'd, take the season off, sadly, and not make their 4th straight Super Bowl. I think Seattle's the best team, but when literally every single person involved in watching or covering the NFL, their biggest concern about your team is your quarterback going to melt in a big spot? It feels like that team's never going to be the consensus favorite. Denver, I give Denver credit. They won 14 games. I don't fully believe in them. I think Buffalo has the superhero. The Rams are the best team, but have had some odd, end of games losses, and that Panther game, they weren't actually all that impressive. But no, much like 2007 I've told this before, but I'll do it very quickly. 2007, Tom Brady takes the field trying to become the greatest single-season team ever. The 2007 Patriots go for his 4th Super Bowl. They don't win that game. He tears his ACL in 2008. 2024-25, the exact same scenario for Patrick Mahomes. The 2008 postseason was a weird one. We got the 9-win Arizona Cardinals playing a Steelers team that nobody thought was really exceptional. I wonder if 2025 is going to be similar in its weirdness. With that said, my Super Bowl pick is not a weird one. It's Rams-Bills. It's the 2 best quarterbacks in the tournament.
Wow, you have Josh Allen going on the road and doing that.
Yeah.
That's a lot of faith in...
the best player in the tournament.
Agree.
And can I say something about that? You didn't even ask me. I want to say something.
Nor do you care whether I say yes or no. You can say something about that. You're going to say it. Yeah, go ahead.
This is not a shot at others as much as it is a compliment to myself. These folks that wanted to preemptively lower the stakes for Josh Allen in the wild card game as a way to either ingratiate themselves to the ball knowers or to make it clear that only a Neanderthal would think that an all-time great quarterback has pressure on him when he's in the wild card round in Jacksonville. They actually were doing Josh Allen a disservice. And those of us that said he has to find a way to win in this spot, even though the Jags are really good, we're doing him a service. You know why? Because the stakes were high. That 40-yard seed to Brandon Cooks trailing in the 4th quarter with 2 minutes left become an iconic moment in his career. If it doesn't matter if you win or lose, if it's like, well, we all know he's great, so who cares, then that play is meaningless. The fact that 3 postseasons in a row, Josh Allen had the ball in his hands down either 3 or 4 points in the final 5 minutes of the 4th quarter, and 2 years ago, didn't come through, team got 0 points. Last year, didn't come through, team got 17 yards. And this year, did come through, team got a touchdown, and it was such a fait accompli that the analysis was they should have stopped trying to score briefly to give Jacksonville less time. That's the way you become a legend, is doing legendary moments when the stakes are high. So I say all that to say this. You're welcome, Josh Allen, for the pressure. It is a privilege, and this is how you become an all-time great. Not because someone's like their run defense. I got to listen to my guy Dominique and others be like, have you seen the Bills' run defense? Guys, they've got the rushing champ, the best offensive line in football, and a top 5 pass defense. And, oh yeah, by the way, Josh Allen. They should be awesome.
I completely agree. I love watching him in these moments, too, because you know exactly what's coming. They're calling players. You got to keep it in his hands. And I think, I know you're a Chiefs guy, and maybe some of the knock will be, well, you had to wait till guys like Lamar and Burrow and Mahomes were out of the playoffs to do it. But the point was brought up on CBS that he actually is the reason a lot of those guys aren't in the postseason right now, because he beat them in the regular season in huge games in retrospect.
Well, so listen, I also think this whole the pressure's on Josh because that trio is out is bullshit. The pressure's on Josh because Mahomes is out. Joe Burrow, everyone acting like, oh man, got to take advantage of Joe Burrow not being in the playoffs. He's never in the playoffs. He's been in the playoffs twice ever. Like Joe, the story should be, wow, Joe Burrow's in the playoffs, not wow, Joe Burrow's not in the playoffs. And Lamar is the one, prior to the win against Jacksonville, Lamar's the one current starting quarterback in the league Josh had beaten in the playoffs, and he was 2-0 against him. Josh was not worried about the Ravens showing up to the playoffs, and the Bengals showing up to the playoffs is a surprise to everyone. It is an opportunity because why are we showing robots kicking people?
Why wouldn't we?
It is an opportunity.
It's in the nuts.
Because,
why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we do that?
I don't even know what I'm watching. Oh, the robot has to do what the guy does.
He's controlling the robot.
How did he get it right away? I was so confused.
It's a bad
And then the robot mimics his reaction to getting kicked.
I'm sorry the video team interrupted you with their nonsense. You were saying.
No, I'm just saying. Listen, there will be no. I also thought that CBS broadcast. I thought when they're like, now don't you go say you're good, buddy. You're my guy. Don't you go say that there's an asterisk on this because the Chiefs. Nobody puts an asterisk on championships unless LeBron wins them. We all know that. There is no NFL champion asterisk since the strike season, and I don't even know if that's an asterisk because if I asked this Emmy-winning crew when were the strike seasons in the NFL, they're going to go 0 for 100. And so when was it? When was it, Taché?
This is
Spit
not
it
an
at
Emmy
me.
winning crew. I'm an Emmy winning
Okay,
crew.
when was it? When was the strike season?
The last 3 years for me.
Okay. Well done.
He's the host of FS1's First Things First. He's got to get out of here. And What's Right with Nick Wright, the podcast. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the arrogance.
Hold on.
As
Just,
always.
90 seconds. I know I have a hard out, but you said we were going to get to something we didn't get to. Throw Mike Ryan on the mic. No pun intended. Hey, Mike Ryan. LeBron James, all-star at 50?
No.
Have you seen him since he let that streak go?
He's been really
Maybe
good,
Zaz was on to something.
He's been
the
really
streak
good.
was holding him down.
Yeah.
Since then, he's been a top 10 player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
See you guys.